So we start off drilling with the alphabet, learning all letter sounds until we get that down. Then after those are down, we take them and put them together. We come up with blends. And, we teach the children that until they get that down. And once they master those, then we move them to the book. All of these come from Rebecca. And they have a wonderful book of letter sounds and blends and 3-letter words and ladders and little short stories. They start to take those letter sounds and words and read them in a little tiny book, which is very powerful. Even though it seems simple, it's powerful, and it gives the children confidence to move on to the next level. And once they master those pages and understand and what these blends and letter sounds mean and how they go together, then we move them to another curriculum that we have, and that's called the Natural Speller. And it presents common words, frequently misspelled words, Latin and Greek, and parts of words. It also teaches abbreviations, contradictions. This goes all the way it starts from first and goes all the way up to 8th grade. It presents holiday words, homophones, measurements, and number words, which is all great because it introduces related like items at the same time to the speller. This book is also great when your child needs extra help with spelling. And what I also love about it is that it teaches dictionary skills. It teaches them how to alphabetize and how to identify entry words and guide words and just phonetically respelling words. It's just an overall good curriculum to help seal spelling for a child, especially one who is having a hard time doing so. And then if they need more help, we take them to another speller that I have, and this is from Christian Liberty. I love this spelling book because it actually takes all of the words that use the same blends or have the same ending sounds or beginning sounds, and it also brings the words to life for the child to help them, get through it and understand the words, spelling and letters and language even more. Then after they have gone through all of those things, we take them to the real deal, and that's the actual spelling book on their grade level. And these things are used. This book is used every day. They study the words for a week, 5 to 7 days, and then we make them make flashcards and drill, and they memorize these. They learn to break them into syllables, and then the end of all of these things, the children are spelling. And they, believe me, after studying these words for 5 days, on that last day, they usually get them. It's a wonderful way to teach kids how to read, to recognize words and read and spell.
Friends like Disney. Friends like to walk. Friends like to cook. Friends like to dance. Friends like to read. Friends like to swim. Friends like to eat. Friends like to play. The end.
Donald in Disneyland. Huey, Dewey, and Louie were so excited to be at Disneyland, they all chattered at once. "Come on, Uncle Donald, have you got tickets? Please hurry up." Donald just beamed, very pleased with himself about the treat he was giving his nephews. The first thing the boys wanted to do was to ride the horse-drawn trolley down Main Street. The colorful old houses, shops, and railway stations were recalled the days when America was still a nation of small towns, and almost everyone knew his neighbors. The next stop was the Pirates of the Caribbean, where 2 huge pirate galleons fired at each other across the waterway while the nephews laughed with excitement. But it was all too real for Donald. He was looking for a place to hide as their boat rocked. At Big Thunder Mountain, Donald shivered and shook the train as the train whizzed up and down the steep hills through the tunnels. But it was hard to hear his teeth chattering because Huey, Dewey, and Louie were laughing so loud and screaming at every curve. By the time the little group reached the jungle cruise, Donald was exhausted, but his nephews were so eager to show him ferocious-looking alligators with their huge teeth. At Haunted Mansion, Huey, Dewey, and Louie were having the time of their lives. They loved the eerie goose goblins that popped out every turn. Donald just shut his eyes tightly and refused to look. On Snow White's scary adventure, the nephews were thrilled by the trip through the spooky woods, where trees reached out claw-like branches. But one member of the party was scared out of his wits. Huey and Dewey and Louie were all set to board the submarine for the underwater cruise when they realized that Donald was missing. Where could he be? They looked everywhere for him. At last, the nephews found their Uncle Donald, fast asleep in Sleeping Beauty's castle. All the excitement had worn them out. Delighted with the day, they woke up slumbering Donald and headed for home. The end.
The Table Sets Itself by Ben Clanton. Izzy and her friends, dish, fork, knife, spoon, cup, and napkin, had waited for what felt like a bajillion years to set the table themselves. So when Mom finally asked Izzy to help for the first time, they all set to it straight away. Woohoo! Wee woo, wee woo. Dish, front and center, please. Cup, you go here. They did such a good job that Mom had them set the table the next night, and 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 the next night. After being stuck in the same old places for what must have been a zillion times, Izzy and her friends were fed up. This is so boring. We should all change spots. Everyone agreed that switching places was the best idea since macaroni and cheese, and they started trying all sorts of new table settings. Get off! Oops, sorry. Toot! Ew, cut it out! My milk! No use crying over spilt milk. Some of them were recipes for disaster. But eventually, they all settled on spots they liked. Did you hear that pot boiled over? Yeah, he was really steamed. Izzy and her friends loved their new spots on the table, but Izzy's parents didn't understand. Little girls sit on chairs, said Dad. Back to your proper spots now, said Mom. Everyone went back to their old places. Nobody was happy, but Dish and Spoon were especially sour. They had really liked being next to each other, dishing out the latest scoop. So, Dish ran away with Spoon. The next day at breakfast, Dish and Spoon still hadn't returned. No other plate or spoon would do, and Izzy was getting hungry. Too fancy, too long, too squarish, too big. They looked everywhere for Dish and Spoon. They asked everyone if they had seen Dish and Spoon, even the scary monster in Izzy's closet. Nice to eat you. Where in the universe were Dish and Spoon? It looked like Dish and Spoon might never return. Knife was really cut up about it. Cup felt terribly empty inside. Napkin was crumpled, and Izzy was a complete mess. But then they got a special delivery. Anything for me? Bonjour from France. The food here is simply divine, and the service never second best. Yes, France is truly à la mode. Much love, Dish and Spoon. Izzy would have taken off her French right then and there, but her parents didn't understand. Don't be absurd. We are not going to France, said Mom. Very funny, Izzy, said Dad. And did the cow jump over the moon? Not knowing what else to do, Izzy, knife, fork, cup, and napkin waited. They waited and waited and checked the mail and waited some more and got really bored and checked the mail. This is dull. After a whole entire week of waiting and mail checking, Cup came in full of good news. More mail had come. Knife spread the letters out on the table for everyone to see. Fine china in China. Also, we met quite the pair. They call themselves Chopsticks. Much love, Dish and Spoon. Airline food stinks. Sure wish we had some of Dad's famous macaroni and cheese just now. Much love, Dish and Spoon. Greece was great, although Dish didn't like the tradition of throwing plates on the floor while people dance. Much love, Spoon. All the mail from Dish and Spoon gave Izzy an idea. She would send them a letter and also some homemade macaroni and cheese. Say something about me. Me too. Me 3. After some more waiting and lots more mail checking, they got a note back from Spoon. We're coming home. We miss you too. Also, Dish is broke. Much love, Spoon. P.S. Thanks for the macaroni and cheese. Dish and Spoon came back to the table just in time for dinner. Bonjour. Woohoo! Hooray! Yay! The macaroni and cheese was delicious, and everything was set right again. But then there was a knock, 2 actually, on the door. Ni hao, Dish and Spoon said we should come visit. Hope you don't mind if we stick around a while. The end. That was The Table Sets Itself by Ben Clanton. I hope you enjoyed the book. Yay! That's funny.